Rolling out with the break of dawn, canvas skies and the show goes on. Iron stakes and the hammer sound, building dreams on this muddy ground, with sawdust running through our veins. We do it for the faces in the crowd. Step right up with R&B, 'cause this ain't just a show, it's circus history.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to Off the Rail Podcast, your podcast for
Doing
everything
pretty good.
circus.
How are you?
We're your off the rail ringmasters. I'm R. This is B. How you doing, B?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And today's guest is Lisa B. Lewis. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you guys?
I'm doing wonderful.
Doing great.
So, I like to start off the show by asking, what got you to run away with the circus?
That's a great question. I was in college in Boston, and one of my roommates was trying to teach me how to juggle, and I was failing
Oh, nice.
miserably.
Not
So,
the easiest thing to do.
no, well, I'm not particularly coordinated to begin with, but she was trying to teach me how to juggle. I was failing miserably, and Ringling was coming through town and having auditions for Clown College. So she said, "Look, why don't you go down and audition? At least maybe you'll learn to juggle." So I went down to Boston Garden and I auditioned, and I walked into that arena and I said, "I'm home. This is where I want to spend my life."
Nice. Which unit was it?
I think it was blue at that time.
Blue? Okay.
We're going back a little bit. We're really going back a hot minute. That was 1985.
Okay.
Oh,
So
you were on with Toto.
Toto was already on by the time I got there, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. Yep. I went to Clown College. I was in class of '86.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
I had a good class. I had a seriously good class.
how was that going into Clown College?
Amazing. We're still friends. Like, a whole group of my class is still friends to this day. It was the most intense, magical, wonderful experience that I had ever been through. It was just amazing. Like, every day you woke up with glittery stars. Steve Smith was the director at the time, and when you got your acceptance letter, you opened it up, and all this confetti came out all over the carpet.
Nice.
And every day felt like that to me. Every day felt like confetti was coming out in my life.
Right on, right on.
Just really fun.
So you went, and then right after you got on the road with the blue unit, what was that like?
No, I didn't go straight from the road.
Oh.
I went from Clown College. I did not go straight on the road. I ended up going into advance and promotions. I did the advance work for, oh, please forgive me. I live on a massively busy street if you can hear the stuff in the background. Sorry.
Okay.
Welcome to Brooklyn. All right, we'll answer that question again. So after Clown College, I did not go on the road. I did end up doing advance under the incredible and amazing Susanna Smith and Avery Banks. So I worked with Mike Keever, and I traveled around the country for 2, 3, 4 seasons, something like that, doing advance for both blue and red.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So that was an incredible learning experience. So much fun and just crazy. Like, those days, you just learn so much. Everybody I meet now that went through that boot camp, the Ringling boot camp, as it were, is just tops in their field. They just all know so much because there was so much to do and there was no stone left unturned. It was really a great machine.
What was one of the most memorable moments you take away from Clown College?
Memorable moments from Clown College. Wow, there's a lot of them. There was an accident the year I was there. We'd had a stilt accident, and we'd kind of played dominoes on stilts. And there was a parade that had to happen for this town of Venice. I don't remember how long afterwards. And I was determined not to miss that parade. I wasn't particularly injured. They were just being cautious. So we sawed off a shopping cart and decorated it. And I got to ride the whole parade in a shopping cart, rowing it with my crutches. We decorated it like a boat.
Uh,
And I got to row it with my crutches. It was
Oh,
fun. Yeah, it was really fun.
How many years did you spend with Ringling?
I did advance for a couple of years, and then when Tim called me to go on the Red Show, unfortunately my life circumstances had changed a bit. I was about to get married, so it was a tough decision, but I did not go on the road. Wrong choice, ended up divorced. Go figure.
these
But
things happen.
these things happen, life moves on. I've still stayed friends with everybody. It's just the way life twists and turns you. And I ended up moving to New York and starting to work with the Big Apple Circus here. And that
Ah,
took up the next 30 or so years, along with starting lots of other businesses and entertaining and doing shows and all that stuff.
okay. Can you tell us about the Omnium Circus? Is that right?
Yeah. So after 30 years working with Big Apple Circus and freelancing, and I worked in hospitals and I taught and did shows and all sorts of great stuff. I ended up running a program there that they called Circus of the Senses, which was an adapted show for for students who were blind or deaf.
Oh,
And
wow.
then later they introduced neurodivergencies and intellectual disabilities. And when I took it over, they were just giving away tickets to one show a season and providing access to it. And over time, I realized that there was such an interest in that. And there was a whole community that desperately wanted to join the circus, that wanted to come to the circus and see it and enjoy it, just like everybody does, like all audiences. And they were barred from that. So I expanded that program. I became in charge of it. And over the years, I expanded that program to where it became quite a decent business. And it really invited a lot of new audiences, which was its original intent, to bring in new audiences to the circus. So after one bankruptcy and 3 for-profit owners in 2020, Big Apple Circus folded. It has since been sold twice more and is back on the road. But at that time in 2020, I said, you know what if, just imagine, what if there was a circus where everybody could come every day and not have to worry about, well, I have one kid who's blind and needs an audio description. I have another kid that is neurodivergent and has sensory issues. I have another kid who has a soccer practice. My other kid who has this, has that, or all the complications that come with bringing a family together. What if I bridge those barriers? What if we could bridge those gaps so that there was access for every family, every audience member, every show? You didn't have to leave grandpa behind because you have
Wow.
assisted listening. You don't have to leave anybody behind because there would be access for everybody at every show. What would that look like? And what would it look like if when they looked into the ring, they felt connected? The performers weren't homogeneous. The performers were a little bit of everything, and some of them had disabilities, and some of them didn't. And just like the international world of circus, they were representative of our global world, because that's what circus is. We're global, we're everywhere. And what would that feel like? So I decided to give it a shot, and Omnium Circus was born. We formed a not-for-profit in 2020. And our first show was virtual because obviously there was a pandemic. No
Yeah,
one was leaving.
COVID.
Hello. So we made a video. Everybody filmed, all the artists filmed from wherever they were holed up. And we edited,
Right.
we put it together. The artistic director then is the artistic director now, the incredible, amazing, and
Wow.
incomparable Noe Espana. So we have everything to be grateful to him for. So we edited it all, we put it together, and I worked with a group in New York called Disability Unite, and we created a platform online that you could choose your access. So if you wanted to see the show just normal, you got English and American Sign Language, because we had 2 ringmasters, one
Oh,
deaf, one
wow.
hearing. Jonathan Lee Iverson was our first ringmaster and is the
Yeah.
chair of
Oh,
our board. So we
okay.
love Jonathan. He's one of the first people
Yeah.
I called when I had the idea. I'm like, really? Am I crazy? Can I do this? He's like, yeah, you're crazy, but you're going to do this.
Mm.
So we
Right
put it
on.
all together. We made sure everybody had access. So it was English, American Sign Language, everything was captioned. We also had a Spanish version. We also had a plain language version. We also had a version that was
Wow.
audio described for people who are blind. And you guys can,
Wow.
that's still on Eventbrite if anybody wants to see our first
Okay.
production. It's still on Eventbrite. It's called The Celebration of Diversity.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
you heard that, folks. There you go.
Ta-da! And it went really
Did-
well. We reached 16 states, 5 countries, and 35,000 people.
Wow.
Wow.
So
So
then
the name, sorry, I was going to say the name. What does it mean, and how did you come up with
it means
like
Omnium means of all and belonging to all.
okay.
And we came up with it after lots and lots and lots of trial and error, trying to find
Okay.
something nobody had that really represented who we are and who we wanted to be. Because it's really a circus in collaboration with our audience and with our community. And our community is everybody's.
Sure. Wow.
So Omnium worked, and the only other person that used the word was a bicycle race, and I figured they weren't going to confuse us with that. So I thought,
Let's
okay,
hope
we're
not.
pretty safe here. We're not a bicycle. We're pretty good. If we ever get
Right
a
on.
bicycle act in the show, we'll have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then in 2021, we thought the pandemic was over, and we got a space and we rented the tent from Pedro and Dolly from Circus Sarasota, and we brought it up to DC and we put the tent up, and then the pandemic hit again. Bam!
Of course.
Oh no.
So then we pivoted again, because that's what we do. You're either a problem or a solution. So we were making solutions.
There you go.
So we pivoted again and we turned to performing arts centers. We opened at, actually it's a great story, when we had to pull the tent down because tickets had flatlined. You know how it is in circus, you get to your out money, that's it. You don't spend your out money. It's
Sure.
there for a reason. So we had our whole cast assembled. Everybody was tested and all that stuff. And we needed a place to at least film it. So I had something that we could use, right? I had to have something to use to say, hey, this is a great show. Somebody book it. What are we going to do? Well, I didn't know then what the next step would be. But Noe and I both knew that we needed to do something. So we fortunately were invited to Gallaudet University, which is the only university founded by a congressional charter. Just kind of fun. It's a university for the deaf in Washington, D.C.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So they invited us into their space. They gave us their theater, and we put the show up, and that was our first production.
Nice.
It was beautiful. They were so generous and wonderful to us. And then we went from there and we started performing in performing arts centers, and got national representation from Harmony Artists. And in the last 5 years, we've played 17 states, served 140,000 people,
Wow.
and we're really excited for the next adventures. There's lots going on.
Definitely.
Do you,
It's
oh sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sure.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, do you have a master's degree in clown circus history?
I do.
Very nice.
I needed an excuse
wow.
to move to New York. So I figured, all right, I'll go to graduate school. And Hovey Burgess was teaching at Tisch at the time. So I reached out to Hovey, who's a great circus historian, and I said, I want to get a master's degree. He said, well, you don't want to go to Tisch because it's too restrictive for you. So I went to Gallatin, and he said, you can design whatever you want. I said, I want to learn circus history. I'm a clown. I love clowning. I want to do clown history. I want to do circus history, and I want to see where it takes me. So that's what I did. It's like a design your own major kind of a thing.
Oh, very nice. What was your clown look like? Were you a white face or a goose?
No, I was August.
Oh, okay.
I way too goofy to be a white face. I couldn't pull that off.
Uh,
Character-wise, there's no way I could pull that off. I am way too goofy. I trip over my own toes in real life.
So, with that question, I have a follow-up question. I think you know where I'm going, B. What was the fastest you've ever had to put makeup on, and why?
I think it was for a PR event. And I think the record is 3 minutes.
Oh
Uh-oh.
boy.
It was, but I skipped base. You got to make compromises. I totally skipped the base. Did it all in one fell swoop.
Wow, 3
Nice.
minutes? That's the fastest we've heard so far.
That was, but it wasn't beautiful. It was serviceable, but it definitely wasn't beautiful.
It did the job, right?
It did the job. It got it done.
What was
So,
your
oh,
biggest?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, B.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, what was your biggest challenge in when starting your Omnium in creating the new show, going, I guess I could say you're going beyond the traditional. So
It's everything about it is a challenge. Everything about it is a puzzle. It's all about figuring out where there are openings and what to do and how to solve whatever problem lands on your plate next. It's all about problems and solutions. I think what's my biggest challenge? Each one feels like the biggest challenge.
okay.
When we had to pull that tent down, that was a big challenge. That was huge to figure out what we're going to pivot to and how we're going to pivot. Then the next challenge was, okay, we're going to do performing arts centers. Well, I didn't know that industry at all. So I had to completely learn it. I mean, I knew somewhat, but I didn't know it as well as I knew the tented world. Like I knew a lot more about tented shows than I did about performing arts shows. So I had to learn. I think in the last 5 years, I've gotten a PhD, a non-certified PhD. I have learned so much.
Oh, I'm sure. Wow.
And there's so much left to learn. I knew very little, but I knew who to ask. And that's key, because I knew who knows more than me. So I think that's really key, is knowing who to ask, knowing how to ask, figuring out where your holes are so you know who to ask and how to fill those gaps in. The largest challenge always is financial. I mean, we started as a not-for-profit because I know that accessibility costs money. And I know that I have champagne dreams on a beer budget. So I deliberately, well, that's true. So I deliberately started us as a not-for-profit because I knew we were going to need support to make sure that we could create the access that we needed and that we could create the representation that we needed and that we have.
Okay. So going back to your Big Apple experience, what was that first show like for you?
So when I started with Big Apple, I was working in a program in the hospitals. So I was going in pediatrics ward bed to bed. And I
Okay.
did that for about 15 years. So that was really clowning,
Oh yeah, wow, yeah.
but that was really intense. It's
I'm
beautiful,
sure.
it's magical, but it's really intense. And the lessons that you learn there are the lessons that you can then transfer to the stage, to the ring. It's going into a room and knowing the vibe before you walk in. You don't just barge into some kid's room with things sticking all out of them, right? That's ridiculous. You feel the vibe, you feel the room, and it's the same when you walk out on stage or when you're in the ring, only there's 1,500 people that you have to feel their vibe, and it's a collective energy. And that's really a lot at the heart of clowning for me, is feeling the audience's energy, and how can I bring them from where they are to where they need to be, particularly in a circus because you're a transition. So where are you now? Where do you need to be for the next act? And how can I carry you there with love and humor? And the same thing is true for stage or anywhere else. It's how do you connect with your audience, because clowning is, it's people, it's the heart, it's the soul, it's the every man, every woman, every human part of it's the humanity, right?
Yeah.
So to me, a lot of those lessons learned really stand good. They take good stead with everything else that I do.
Yeah. How did you like you said you did the hospital clowning for a good while. How do you emotionally prepare for that? I know some of that could not have been easy.
It was hard. It was hard. I mean, at some point, obviously, I burned out.
Sure,
I,
yeah. That's
but I remember one particularly difficult week where I had lost, I think, 2 or 3 kids that I'd been particularly close to. Because of course, you get close to the ones that are there more often. Well, they're there
yeah,
more often because they're sick.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it happens. And I remember taking myself down to a public gym, gymnastics gym, and just sitting there and watching healthy children play, because I had completely lost perspective of what healthy children did. And I realized, maybe you better take a step back here for a second.
Oof.
So I did, so I could gain, you need to have a little bit more distance. Eventually, I shifted. My daughter was born medically fragile. And when I was in the hospital, as much as a parent, as a clown, I said, you know what? I've lost my empathy here. I've lost my distance. So I took a step back, intending to come back, but my life took a whole different direction. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
So when you
And
were in
not
the
bad.
hospitals, were you doing shows in the tent, or you were just doing the hospital?
I was just doing the hospitals.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I met my husband there. My husband was doing shows in the tent. He was in the tented show for 7 years.
Oh wow.
The one I
What did
stayed
he do?
married to, not the one I got divorced from.
What did your husband do?
He was 7 years in the show. He did ringmaster. He did
Oh
another
wow.
showing act. He did a tablecloth pole. He did a bunch of different stuff. He was in the Big Apple Circus Company for 7 years.
Oh, okay. Right on. Oh, what is one of your favorite pieces of we'll say audience feedback that you've gotten from someone, whether it be during a show, after a show?
One of my favorite, I have a couple.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
One I really love was from one of our audiences for Omnium. One of our performers is a 7-time NCAA gymnast, phenomenal gymnast, competed against able-bodied athletes. And he performs now. He flips his wheelchair over his head. He's like amazing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And after watching his act, a kid in the audience audibly screamed out, I don't know, the house was silent, so everybody could hear him, said, "Mom, I told you I could do more than the doctor said."
Awesome.
And that to me was magical.
Oh, heck yeah. That is amazing.
So that's one of my favorites. That's definitely one of my top favorites.
So being a
That's pretty
clown for so long, we asked all the clowns this question. What's your best pie story?
I can see the picture of it. When we went down in 87 for the Clown College reunion, and there was this big, huge pie fest. I can't remember anything specific, but I remember it was tons of fun. There were like, I cannot tell you how many garbage things of shaving cream Greg DeSantos had made up. Like there were just billions of them.
Hey, Greg. Yeah.
But it
Was
was
that for
super,
the
super
Vic
fun.
Van Dyke show?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
I still have a picture of it. It's up in my house somewhere. I still have a picture of it. We were all in our why did I just lose the word for that? Coveralls.
Very
Nice.
nice.
That was super fun.
All right.
What else? What else is fun to
What-
know?
Well, so being a part of that, how many of those productions were you a part of with Ringling doing those tapings? Because I know they did one every year up to like I think 92.
Yeah, I just did. There was one in 86 while I was at Clown College. Be a Clown that Ron Severini directed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in that one. And then the one in 87. So I just did those two.
Oh, okay.
So I did both of those.
So having that degree in circus history and clowning, has that helped you as a owner of a circus?
The degree itself, no, nobody cares. Having the degree starts a lot of really fun conversations.
Oh, I'm sure.
So the fact that I can say that legit starts a lot of really fun conversations. The degree itself, the knowledge I learned in my research led me to some really, really beautiful things. It led me, when I was writing my thesis, it led me to Europe, where I had the incredible honor of meeting Annie Fratellini, because I was doing research for my thesis, obviously, and I was doing a project on the difference in clowning in various venues. So I compared the ring to the stage to more outdoor venues, and different people performing in different situations. So I had the incredible opportunity to go over to Europe and to meet Annie, and we ended up becoming friends, and she ended up mentoring me, and that was really pivotal. So I would say, yeah, that came out of that degree.
Very nice.
The experiences that it led me to really shaped my world, and getting to work with her and hear her perspectives on the world and on clowning and on performing and on circus, because she was third generation and the only woman performing in the ring at that time.
Oh, very cool. Where do you see Omnium in like 10 years? Where would you like to see it? How would you like to see it expand
In 10 years,
or evolve?
I would love to see it become so popular that every other circus loves the idea, and we've trained so many amazing artists that every circus becomes inclusive and accessible for everybody.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
I just think circus is incredible. I admire everybody's creativity in everything they do, small shows, big shows. I love what everybody's doing, and to be able to make that accessible for all audiences everywhere all the time, that to me would be the dream.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Would I guess how to word this right? So creating this new type of show for the audience itself, has it been hard to balance to keep the tradition of a bunch of circus elements? Or
We keep the, has it been hard? Everything's hard. But we keep it in a proportion. So 25% of the world has a disability. So 25% of our performers have a disability because we want to reflect the world around us.
Oh.
It's not a show with only people with disabilities or only people with no disabilities. It's a balanced show. And that's really important because you need to reach all audiences. You have to have something that connects with everyone. So that balance is really, really important. And like I said, Noe is brilliant. He writes the shows, he creates them. He's got like the Midas touch because he's so creative and wonderful and has such a huge heart. So we really make sure to keep the balance. And the artists that we choose who do have disabilities are really, really good. They're not just people who say, hey, that looks like fun. No, they've been training for years. They're actual artists.
very nice.
So when somebody, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things that we're hoping to do, and one of our current projects that we're starting on, is to create a pathway to a second career for Paralympic athletes. Because Cirque du Soleil recruits from the Olympics, so Omnium should recruit from the Paralympics. It makes perfect sense. So we have our first person in the pipeline now, our first Paralympian. She's just won another gold medal. And I'd really like to see that part of our program expand so that there are more opportunities for artists to really develop their craft to a level that they belong in circus, that they fit seamlessly with the generational and with the legacy artists.
Very nice. So I like to ask a lot of clowns this question as well. And since you've been a clown for a while, where do you see clown has came from since you've gone to clown college to where it's going?
Interesting. When I first started, there were, I think, a lot more opportunities for live performance for people. And I think that's really beneficial because a clown without an audience is just somebody standing in a studio thinking they're funny and laughing at themselves. I really feel like clowning, it's very important to have that audience in front of you. And someone who does workshop after workshop after workshop after workshop doesn't necessarily have that connection with an audience. So I think now it's harder for people who are up and coming to find those opportunities. There are opportunities, they exist, but I
Yeah.
feel like they're a little bit more difficult to find.
All right.
Although that said, there are an awful lot of circuses now.
There's
But I don't
41
know.
in America.
There you go.
We learned that from Father
That's
Frank.
awesome.
Oh yeah, we did.
So that's actually an increase because when I first did my thesis back in '96, there were only 33. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Man.
Jones, it's growing.
It's growing. So we're growing as an industry. This is fantastic. More circuses, more circus. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
What were your thoughts and feelings when you heard in 97 that clown college was going to be no more?
My heart was sad. I understood the business reasons. I understood why the Felds made that decision. But my heart was really sad. It was so magical and so beautiful and such a great experience. I was sorry there wasn't a different path that could have been chosen. Like, walk a mile in someone's shoes. I can't second guess them. I didn't look at their books. They obviously had reasons for making that choice. But it was sad. It was really, really sad.
Mhm.
And the director at the time, of course, was Dick Monday, who's now on our show. We work together all the time.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
That's cool. So how do
What?
you
Oh,
go
go ahead.
about finding, sorry, how do you go about finding like your interpreters and stuff for the show? How can I put this? Do you have like you were saying your sign language people, are they also performers or are they
Yeah.
somebody on the side? Oh, okay.
No, I deliberately didn't want somebody on the side because think about it. If you're blind, you hear it audio described, you're good. But if you're deaf and you're watching the stage, but you have to look over here to see an interpreter, you're missing the action.
Sure. Good point.
So your experience is diminished. So I didn't want to do that. So the artist that we have performing is a dancer. Our deaf artist is a dancer, a fantastic performer, and he ringmasters in sign language and he performs in sign language. So he's not interpreting what's happening. These are his words. He's performing in artistic sign language. He's dancing, he's singing, he's just doing it in that language. We have one person in English and one person in sign language. So it's a bilingual production. And that way everybody gets the equivalent rich experience.
Right on.
And we have interpreters for tech rehearsals and things, but that's different.
So y'all guys, so it's not like you have interpreters on the side; they're actually in the show.
Yeah, he's the star of the show. That's the ringmaster, and he's not an interpreter. He's a performer.
Oh,
Performer.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
He's just performing it in his native language. And our
Yeah.
hearing ringmaster, this fall, we've got the incredible Ted McRae is out with us on this fall's tour. And he's singing and performing in English, and Malik is singing and performing in sign language.
Wow.
So it's literally a bilingual production.
That is awesome.
Very nice. How
But
do you
it just
personally?
that gives equal access, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
absolutely. I don't know. I was just gonna ask, how do you personally recharge in between doing all these things?
That's a hard one. I'm working on that. Obviously, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Trying to take a few more vacations. My daughter keeps trying to say, Mom, we got to go to the beach now. So she dragged me last year to Puerto Rico, which was amazing. So
Oh,
I'm
there you
trying to
go.
take a little bit more time to recharge. But at this point, there's just so much going on, and there's so many incredible opportunities out there. And honestly, the world really needs some joy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
True.
a lot of heavy stuff going on. And the world
Very
really
true.
needs something to bring us together, to leave all the negativity behind. So
Bring
what
out the
started
clowns.
off as a, hey, yeah, we need the clowns. We really, really do. The shamanistic clowns, not John Wayne Gacy, but actual
So
Yeah.
obviously.
We've got enough axe murderers. Leave them alone.
Yeah. We don't need that.
No, but actual clowns in the shamanistic sense of healing and of bringing joy. And that's what a circus can do. And that's what clowning can do. And we really need that so much in our world right now that it just feels so important to me to keep going and to make sure that what we're offering is out there for everybody, because we're all about our audience, right? This is what we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you get? I'm
So
sure
how?
you had. Hold on. I'm sure you had plenty of opportunities. Or did you get the opportunities to meet the great Lou Jacobs, Frosty, and Peggy Williams?
Both were my teachers. Well,
Very
Peggy, I
awesome.
Wow.
still talk to.
Oh,
Peggy
wow.
actually did. Peggy, when I was there did all of the access. She and Ruthie did a lot of access. They brought in the schools for the blind. They did the audio description. So she was very much instrumental in my thinking about how can this happen, because she'd already done it.
Very nice.
So they did a lot of that for Ringling. And Lou was one of my teachers. Frosty was one of my teachers. Being up on a web with Frosty sitting, that was interesting.
Wow. Yeah, we're trying to get a hold of Peggy Williams now to come on the show because I feel like she has a lot to talk about.
She's great. She's great. I saw her not that long ago. I was in Florida, I think last year.
But do you have any, before you guys put on any of your shows, do you have any pre-show rituals that you do or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Of course we do. The whole company gets together and we have a little chant that we always do. As much as possible. And Father Frank has come many times and given us blessings at the beginning of every season. He joins us and gives us a blessing,
Right.
which is always appreciated, always welcome, and always loved. And then at the beginning of every show, we have a little chant where we always go, "What are we gonna do? Change the flippin' world!" And everybody screams at the top of their lungs.
Nice. That is awesome.
How is
Sounds better when a lot of people say it.
Have you felt that your leadership role has helped molded this the Omnium Circus? I don't want to mess it up. I'm sorry.
No, you got it perfectly right.
Okay. In like logistics and everything else, has that, like, have you been able to tap into everything else previous that you've done with, Ringling and the Big Apple? Has that helped you with the Omni Circus, like logistics wise? Because I mean, what
Oh,
people don't
totally.
realize, there's so much more than just popping up a tent and putting on a show.
So much more. This is like the culmination of everything I've done in my life, of knowing, not that I'm strong enough to pound a tent stake, but I know what's supposed to happen. I've run the follow spot. I've done so many different things, from marketing to working in the PR to performing. I had a little bit of knowledge about a lot of different things. And I think all of that has come together to really help me be able to lead and be able to see what needs to happen next and how it could happen, and knowing who to ask to make it happen. But I think it's really helped. And I've learned so much. Joe Barney teases me that some people, when they're born, start crawling before they walk. When Omnium was born, I just took the keys to the rocket ship. Didn't know how to fly it. Built it as I was going along. And fortunately, I have a really, really wonderful team. I have great people. Jonathan's on my board, no way. Barbara Flugout, who was with marketing with Ringling, was head of marketing with Ringling for a long time. I have such an incredible team of people that work with me, all equally driven and passionate about what we're doing and the effect we're trying to make and the joy we're trying to share. So it's really great. But yeah, have I learned a lot. Every little thing you learn, right? It feeds in. That's actually the best part about circus, because there's so much. There's a job for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Whatever is your strength, there's something for you to do. There's so much to be done that you're bound to be good at something.
Yep. I was pie car on Red Unit. So
there you go. See, there's so much to be done, and every job is important. No matter what you're doing, every single job is important, because everything is interconnected. And I think that's what attracts me to circus, is that everything and everyone is important, and you value each other because we all are a part of a bigger whole. And that to me is where I feel so welcome and so at home in this world.
Okay. When clowning, what's one of your favorite routines? And also, hang on, I should ask, did you finally learn to juggle?
I did finally learn to juggle.
Oh, all right.
Yes, I do actually juggle at this point in time. Yes, I can do that. Not brilliantly, but certainly well enough for what I need it for. Um, I think my favorite routines,
Soap gag.
Dead and Alive, I always like and I like all the contortions of it. Because kids love fall down, go boom. So I always enjoy that one. Little B is a great one. A couple people are still doing that routine. Music Box is a great one. That's been done lots of different ways and it's always fun.
Right on. What was one of your favorite train runs?
Well, I wasn't on the train,
Oh, you weren't? Oh, I
so
was
I
like,
missed that part, which is
my
sad.
mistake. Oh,
She was ahead
it
of the
is.
shows.
I that was my mistake. I was because you were saying you were in both. I figured you rode the train at some
Yeah.
point.
No, I didn't. I
Okay.
wish I had. Like I said, by the time when the opportunity came around, the stars just didn't align right. I
Yeah.
was
Well,
ahead
we'll
of the
change.
show. So
We'll change that
my
question. All right, go ahead.
so
Sorry.
my routine was more. It was interesting. I'd go ahead of the show. Promotions would always put me up in some real fancy hotel right in the middle of a downtown area because that's where the show was.
Right.
So I'd be in this beautiful hotel, but as soon as you stepped out, you were afraid to get mugged.
Oh
Oh,
boy, that's not good.
They were not good neighborhoods. So I'd have to be up and a typical day for an advanced clown at that time. Alarm goes off at 2:30 in the morning. You get up by 3. You have to be in full clown makeup downstairs to meet your promoter by 3:30 at the latest. You'd go do a radio show, another radio show, a television appearance, maybe a second television appearance. Then you'd go to your first school, set up, do one show, potentially two, go to your second show, pack it all up, get back in the van, go to another show, go to another show. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're back in your hotel room and you can't see straight.
I bet. Ooh.
Because each school show you have to set up, do a 30-minute show, tear down. Or sometimes you'd have 2 shows. But it was 2 to 3 radio appearances, a couple of TV appearances, 2 to 3 school shows. By 3:30 in the afternoon, I was staring at cartoons aimlessly.
wow.
Wow.
What is something that you would tell someone that's young that want to get into the circus industry or even clowning? What would you like to share with them?
I would ask them first a question, why? Because if you're in it for the right reasons, if you're in it because your heart is full and you want to share that heart with people, if you're in it because you want to bring laughter and joy, then my advice would be find every possible person you can learn from and learn everything you can and have every experience you can and never lose sight of why you're here. If you're going into it for some other reason, maybe you best examine.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's super
Well,
fun. Going out from a ring and playing with the audience and coming back in and doing something and people are all laughing. It's incredible. It's such a beautiful community, joyful experience and such a communion and a connection.
oh yeah. What would you say one of your instead of train run, we'll go with location. What was one of your favorite locations?
My favorite locations. Honestly, they all start to look alike after a while.
That's how we feel about the arenas.
Yeah.
like, I don't really know. Because people are people. I'm out there for the people. They're all people.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they got slightly different haircuts, but people are people.
What was your favorite city to visit?
I had a great time when I was doing advance. One of my favorites was what state was Oklahoma. I haven't been back since, but it was super fun. The promoters there were just super, super nice. We had a great time. Cities, LA was super fun. We went there this past year. Phoenix, we've had a great time. Phoenix is always fun to go to because there's so many circus people there. Get to run into Chris Berry, get to run into Frank Ferrante. We have a good time in Phoenix. We're going back again this year too. In March, we'll be back in Phoenix.
Nice.
New York, I love. DC, I love. Obviously, New York, because here I am. Great audiences. DC, we've gone to every year, and that's such a great community there. Really, really great, wonderful community in DC. This year, we're about to play Philadelphia for 2 weeks. So, Philly folks, come on out. Can't wait to see you. We'll be there for 2 weeks. Brand new Performing Arts Center.
Oh,
there
wow.
you go.
I don't know. I like
How
it's fun everywhere. There's always new things to learn, little fun, trivial spots that nobody would have ever heard of that you get to explore. If I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sitting in my hotel room on the computer, which unfortunately a lot of times I am. Reality.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, running a business,
You know,
running a circus.
exactly. Reality. I can hear my team in the background going, "Yeah, when did you come out with us last time, girl? You were working." I do.
So, what advice would you give your younger self before or going into college, clown college? What would you go back and give yourself advice today?
What would I give myself as advice? Don't be afraid. I would tell me, don't be afraid. Give it your whole heart and stay centered in that heart. The advice I would give to others is this exact advice I would have given myself. I had a lot of fear when I was younger. I had a lot of insecurities. And I think that held me back. From what I don't know, because I'm perfectly happy where I am now. But yeah, to keep your heart full and always remember why you're here.
Very good.
Yes.
How did you feel about hearing of the closing of Ringling in 2017, and then how do you feel about the revival now without animals?
It's sad. I mean, getting to see all those elephants in the ring was just, sorry. I love animals in the circus.
Yeah,
I love them. They're beautiful. Everybody I have ever known who worked with animals loves them so much. To me, it was really, really, really sad. And in this case, I didn't. I mean, okay, I understand. I'm not stupid. I get it. I know why the decisions were made the way they are. But I hate that they had to be. Because they weren't made for the benefit of the public. They were
No.
made for some stupid people yelling too loud.
Yeah, and the fact that
And
the animals were taken care of better than most of the humans.
yeah, oh yeah,
And better
100%.
than they are now. What are they doing now? They're bored out of their minds, sitting somewhere in some zoo doing what?
I think they're
They'd
down in
rather be out
Florida.
there working. I mean, yeah, but like they had to go to retirement. They loved performing. You don't just pick general animals. You don't pick general people to perform either. You pick animals that love performing. You pick people that love performing. You don't pick somebody's pet and throw them in a ring. Duh. I mean,
Yeah.
they wanted to be there. And to deny them the opportunity to do what they loved, it's just sad.
Yeah, I was
It's
there
sad for the audiences. It's sad for the animals. You were
the
there
day
when?
that the last elephant walk, and when they came off the road, and that was the saddest.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh yeah. I used to love the elephant walks. It was so fun. When they did it in New York, we walked from Queens through the Lincoln Tunnel. Not Lincoln Tunnel, through the Midtown Tunnel.
That's
I was gonna
that's a
say,
heck of
I
a
was
wrong
about
tunnel
to
to
say
side of the
what?
island. That's a long walk. No,
That's
Midtown Tunnel. Sorry. Yeah, go all the way around. No, sorry. It was just, yeah, it's sad.
There's a lot of tears that
It's
day.
sad for people. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they're trying. I mean, they're trying really hard to create that same sense of spectacle, but it's really hard without four-legged partners.
Oh
They
yeah,
did a lot of the heavy lifting.
literally.
Yeah, literally.
The-
In both performance and lifting, literally.
Do you have any animals in your show?
We did. We had, well, when we first started in the virtual show, we had the horses. When we pivoted to performing arts centers, the permitting situation became slightly dicey.
Oh
You
boy.
can't do that. So the first year out, we had dogs, which were great. We had one of the dogs had 3 legs, which was totally perfect for our show.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Totally perfect. And I would love to have dogs again, but again, it's the logistics of travel, permitting, licensing, vet visits. At this point, it's a challenge that we're just not quite capable of doing everything we need to do financially and fiscally to make that a reality. I've got nothing against it. I would love to do it. We just, at this juncture, it's more than I can chew right now. Maybe in the future.
do you see it coming in the future?
I sure would love to. Gosh, I sure would love to.
Yeah.
Any other 3-legged
Real,
dogs out there?
yeah, right. I do have actually. We're gonna be coming to an end here real quick because we are running out of time. But I do have another question before we do that. Do you think that there could be a possibility of another clown college opening up in the future, or you see that in the future for anybody, or?
I could totally see it. There's definitely a demand for it. The advantage of that one was that it was a specific pipeline to a specific style of work. So if you were going to do it now, you would have to create it in a community environment so that there was a pipeline, so that any number of these 41 circuses would say, okay, I will agree to take or to at least audition someone from this program. Here's what I need them to be able to do. So it would have to be done in collaboration, in a community collaboration within the circus world. And I think if we do that, it would be very, very successful. Because then circuses wouldn't have to worry about as much finding people who are qualified to work the ring.
Sure.
So I think it would be really beneficial to everybody. But yeah, I do see that as being something that would be really beneficial to our whole world, to our whole ecosystem, not world, to our ecosystem, our circus ecosystem.
Yeah. All right. Well, you listeners out there, you're listening. You hear that? If you got ideas, man, let's do it.
Let's do it.
But
That's why we're doing what we're doing. We're
that's right.
introducing more artists with disabilities into the ecosystem. It's for everybody. We all share it. We all make the best shows we can, and there's room for everybody. Broadway has 18,000 shows. We got 41 circuses. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Well, with this said, before we close, can you tell everybody how they can get tickets and look up your schedule for your shows?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, which is Omnium, OMNIUM, omniumcircus.org, and you click on the little moving ticket and it will bring up our entire schedule. We'll be in Pittsburgh, we'll be in New Jersey, we'll be in Queens, we'll be all over the country. So wherever you are listening from, tack on to that. You will find our whole schedule there. You can follow us across all social media platforms, Omnium Circus. We're everywhere. Connect, shoot an email, shoot a text, answer a post. We'd love to be in touch with you.
There you go. You heard it there, folks. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in. I'd like to thank you, Lisa, for coming on the show. Thank you very much. We
Thank
enjoyed your
you for
energy. Yeah,
Thanks for
we
having me. I
enjoyed your
really
story.
appreciate it.
And with that said, folks, until next time, we'll see you down the road.
See you down the road.